My beloved child, I know that lately you have been staring into the unknown with a heart full of questions and a spirit that feels weary from trying to predict what is coming next, because you are someone who finds comfort in knowing the plan. Yet right now, the map you so desperately want to see is hidden from your view. You have been waking up in the middle of the night, your mind racing with scenarios and possibilities, wondering if you have made a mistake or if you have somehow missed the turn that was meant to lead you to your destiny. But I want you to take a deep breath right now and listen to my voice as I tell you that you are not lost. You are not forgotten, and you are exactly where I need you to be for the work I am doing within you. I see the way you look at the horizon, searching for a guarantee that everything is going to work out, because the uncertainty of this season has settled into your bones like a heavy fog, making it difficult to trust that the ground will be there when you take the next step. And I know that this fear of the unseen has paralyzed you at times, making you hesitate when you should be moving and worry when you should be resting. You have often whispered to me in the quiet of your room, asking for the full picture, pleading for just a glimpse of the destination so that you can feel safe enough to walk the journey. But I need you to understand that if I showed you the whole route right now, it would not bring you peace. It would only overwhelm you with the magnitude of the mountains you must climb and the battles you must win, which is why I only give you enough light for the step you are on today. There is a specific reason why I have not rolled out the entire blueprint of your life before your eyes, and it is not because I am trying to confuse you or keep you in the dark, but rather because I am protecting you from burdens you are not yet strong enough to carry and distractions that would pull you off course before you have even begun. You feel the tension of the unknown as a threat, but I want you to reframe this feeling and see it as an invitation to lean closer to me. Because when you cannot see the road ahead, you are forced to hold my hand tighter, and that intimacy is the very foundation of the path I am paving just for you. The fear you feel is natural, but it is not a sign that something is wrong. It is simply the friction of your human nature coming into contact with a divine plan that is far bigger than your logic can comprehend. And I am asking you to trust my character even when you cannot trace my logic. You have been carrying a heavy weight of responsibility, feeling as though the outcome of your life rests entirely on your ability to figure out the future. And this burden has exhausted you, draining the joy from your days and replacing it with a constant, humming anxiety that never fully goes away. I hear the thoughts that cycle through your mind, the questions of what if and how long, and I want to gently silence them with the truth of my presence, because you were never designed to carry the weight of tomorrow, only the stewardship of today. When you try to map out the next 10 years, you are stepping into a territory that does not belong to you, a place where grace has not yet been allocated, and that is why it feels so heavy. Come back to this moment, come back to the present, for that is where I am, and that is where the path is being revealed. I know that silence can sometimes feel like rejection, and when you pray for clarity and receive only quiet, your heart begins to tremble with the fear that perhaps I have turned away or that you are shouting into a void. But I assure you that my silence is not an absence of activity. It is a depth of preparation that requires a quiet spirit to navigate. You are used to a world that shouts, a world that demands instant answers and immediate gratification. So when I work in the slow, deep rhythms of the spirit, it can feel agonizingly slow to your flesh. But I am teaching you the art of waiting not as a passive delay, but as an active stance of trust. You are standing on the edge of something new, and the reason you cannot see the bridge is that I am building it under your feet with every act of faith you choose to make. And I need you to stop looking for a paved highway and start looking for the single stones I am placing before you. The anxiety you feel when you think about the future is a signal that you are trying to control what is mine to command. And while I created you with a brilliant mind and a desire to plan, there is a limit to human foresight that you are currently crashing against. And it is hurting you because you are trying to break through a wall that is meant to be a boundary of protection. I am paving a path just for you that is unique, bespoke, and tailored to the exact specifications of your soul. And because it is a custom path, it does not look like the paths of those around you, which adds to your fear because you have no point of reference, no model to copy, and no guarantee other than my promise. This is a season of profound trust, where I am asking you to trade your need for certainty for the comfort of my company, and to believe that I am leading you to a place of abundance, even if the route seems to take you through the wilderness. You have started to notice subtle shifts in your spirit, signs that I am at work even when the external circumstances seem stagnant. And one of the clearest indicators is the way you are beginning to discern between open and closed doors with a speed and clarity that you did not possess before. In the past, you might have banged on a locked door for months, begging for it to open, trying to force your way into opportunities that were not meant for you. But now, when a door shuts, you feel a sudden, unexplainable peace settle over you, a quiet knowing that says, "This is not the way." This new discernment is not a coincidence. It is a spiritual muscle I am strengthening within you, a guidance system that I am fine-tuning so that you can navigate the complex maze of life without wasting years chasing things that would only leave you empty. And you must trust this instinct because it is my spirit whispering to yours. Another sign that I am actively paving this path for you is the persistent, magnetic pull you feel toward a certain direction, a calling that tugs at your sleeve even when you have no logical proof that it will work out and no tangible evidence to present to the skeptics around you. This tug is not an obsession or a fantasy. It is the resonance of your created purpose responding to the call of your Creator, like a compass needle finding north. And while your mind tries to rationalize it away or demand a detailed business plan before you move, your heart knows that you cannot ignore it. I am planting these seeds of desire and direction deep within you because I am preparing you to move. And even though you feel unqualified or unprepared, the very fact that you cannot shake this feeling is the confirmation you have been looking for, proving that this is not a path you chose for yourself, but a path I ordained for you before you took your first breath. You are also finding that you are less attracted to the shortcuts and the quick fixes that used to tempt you, because a wisdom is forming in the secret places of your heart that recognizes the hollowness of success that is not built on a solid foundation. There was a time when you would have leaped at the chance to bypass the struggle, to get to the destination by any means necessary. But now you look at the easy way and you feel a check in your spirit, a hesitation that warns you that what comes quickly often leaves quickly. This shift in your values is a profound sign of growth, showing that you are becoming more interested in who you are becoming than in what you are getting. And this maturity is essential for the path I am paving, because the blessings I have stored up for you are too heavy to be carried by a character that has not been tested and strengthened by the journey. Notice how the things that used to satisfy you no longer bring you the same level of comfort or joy, and how relationships or habits that once fit you perfectly now feel tight and restrictive, like clothes you have outgrown without realizing it. This discomfort is not a punishment, but a sign of transition, a necessary shedding of the old layers that cannot come with you into the new season I am bringing you into. And while it feels lonely to outgrow the familiar, it is a sign that you are expanding spiritually. I am making room in your life for new things, new people, and new assignments. And the only way to fill your hands with the new is to gently pry your fingers loose from the old, a process that I am overseeing with great care and tenderness, because I know how hard it is for you to let go of what you know. You are experiencing a heightened sensitivity to the environments and the people around you, noticing disharmony and negativity more acutely than ever before. And while this sometimes feels like a burden, it is actually a protective mechanism I have installed in you to keep you on the narrow path I have set before you. When you walk into a room and feel the atmosphere shift, or when you speak to someone and sense a lack of integrity behind their words, that is my discernment operating through you, warning you of pitfalls that your eyes cannot see but your spirit can feel. Do not suppress these feelings or tell yourself you are being overly critical. Instead, bring them to me and ask for wisdom, for I am sharpening your spiritual senses so that you can walk through a minefield without detonating a single trap, guided by the internal radar of my peace. There is a growing desire in you for authenticity and truth, a hunger that makes surface-level conversations and superficial interactions feel draining and pointless. And this is because I am drawing you into the deep waters where the real treasures of wisdom and understanding are found. You find yourself retreating from the noise of the crowd, seeking solitude not because you are antisocial, but because the noise of the world interferes with the frequency of my voice, and you are realizing that you value my whisper more than the applause of men. This pulling away is a holy consecration, a time of setting yourself apart so that I can download the instructions and the insights you will need for the next leg of your journey. So do not apologize for your need for quiet or your refusal to engage in the drama that surrounds you. You have begun to see patterns in your life, connecting dots between past experiences and present challenges, realizing that nothing you have gone through was wasted, but that every tear, every loss, and every victory was a raw material I am using to build the road you are walking on today. This retrospective clarity is a gift I am giving you to build your confidence, so that when you face a new obstacle, you can look back and see how I delivered you before, how I turned what was meant for evil into good, and how I wove your mistakes into a tapestry of grace. I am showing you that I am the master architect of your life, and that even when you were wandering, I was directing your steps, ensuring that you would arrive at this precise moment with the exact set of tools and experiences you need to fulfill your assignment. There is a strange, quiet confidence rising within you that defies your current circumstances, a peace that does not make sense when you look at your bank account or your problems, but which holds you steady like an anchor in the middle of a storm. This is the peace that surpasses all understanding, the evidence that you are walking in alignment with my will. Because when you are on the path I am paving, even the difficult terrain feels right, and even the steep climbs feel possible. You are learning to trust this internal peace more than external validation, realizing that if you have my peace, you have everything you need to proceed, and if you lack it, no amount of money or approval can make the decision right. And this lesson is the compass that will guide you home. Finally, you are noticing that your prayers are changing, shifting from lists of demands and frantic pleas to simple, honest conversations where you surrender your will and ask for my heart. And this alignment of your desires with mine is the ultimate sign that you are walking the path I have prepared. You are less concerned with getting what you want and more concerned with being who I created you to be. And in this surrender, you are finding a freedom you never knew existed, a liberation from the pressure to perform, and a rest in the promise that I am good. This is the surest sign that you are maturing, that you are ready for the weight of the glory I want to reveal through you, and that the path I am paving is leading you straight into the center of my love and your destiny. I know the struggles you face in the quiet of your mind, the way you overthink every single decision until you are paralyzed by the fear of choosing the wrong thing, terrified that one misstep will ruin the entire plan and leave you stranded in a place you were never meant to be. This mental exhaustion is a heavy cross to carry, and I see how you replay conversations, analyze potential outcomes, and torment yourself with the possibility of failure. But I want you to know that my plan for you is not so fragile that it can be shattered by a single honest mistake. You treat your life like a house of cards that will collapse if you breathe the wrong way. But I have built your foundation on a rock, and I am big enough to redirect your steps even if you stumble. So please, release the pressure to be perfect and accept the grace to be human. You often feel deeply misunderstood by the people around you, especially those who love you but do not share your vision or your faith. And their questions about your timeline and your choices can feel like arrows that pierce your confidence and make you doubt what you have heard in the secret place. They demand quick answers and logical explanations for a journey that is spiritual and often defies logic. And when you cannot provide them with the certainty they crave, you feel isolated and foolish, as if you are the only one seeing a reality that doesn't exist. I want you to know that this loneliness is a shared experience with all who have walked with me, for the path of faith is often a solitary one, and you must learn to be okay with being misunderstood by others as long as you are understood by me. I see the scars of distrust you carry from past false starts, the times when you thought you heard my voice or thought a door was opening, only to have it slam shut in your face, leaving you embarrassed and hesitant to trust your own discernment again. These past disappointments have created a wall around your heart, a defense mechanism that makes you cynical about hope and skeptical about new beginnings. But I am asking you to let me heal those wounds so that you do not sabotage your future with the pain of your past. Those false starts were not failures. They were lessons, calibrations of your hearing, and necessary detours that saved you from entering rooms you were not ready for. So do not let the fear of being wrong again keep you from stepping out when I call you now. Anxiety spikes in your chest when you feel out of control, specifically regarding the timing of when things will happen, because you live in a world that measures success by speed, and you feel like you are falling behind while everyone else is racing ahead. You look at the calendar and the passing years, and a panic rises in your throat that says it's too late, I've missed it, or I'm running out of time. But these are lies from the enemy designed to steal your peace and make you rush ahead of my presence. My timing is not slow, and it is not fast. It is perfect, and I am the Lord of time, able to redeem the years the locusts have eaten and to accelerate your progress in a single day beyond what you could achieve in a decade of striving. So trust the pace I have set. The temptation to force doors open is a struggle you fight almost daily, a desperate urge to take matters into your own hands and make something happen just to relieve the tension of waiting. But you know deep down that a door forced open by flesh will have to be sustained by flesh, and that is a burden you cannot bear. You have tried this before, pushing and manipulating circumstances to fit your desires, only to find that the prize you grasped turned to ash in your hands, and I am gently reminding you of this so that you do not repeat the cycle. Waiting is not inactivity. It is a high form of spiritual warfare where you hold your ground and refuse to move until the cloud of my presence moves. And I promise you that the doors I open for you will swing wide with ease and will lead to pastures of peace, not prisons of stress. You struggle with the comparison trap, looking at the curated lives of others on screens and feeling a deep ache of inadequacy, wondering why their path seems so straight and smooth, while yours feels like a winding, rocky trail through a dense forest. You do not see their tears, their battles, or the cost of their journey. You only see the highlight reel. And this comparison is a poison that blinds you to the beauty of your own story and the unique work I am doing in you. I have not called you to live their life. I have called you to live yours. And the path I am paving for you is designed to bring out the specific glory I have placed inside you, which is different from anyone else's. So put on your blinders and focus on the lane I have assigned to you. There is a deep fear in you that you are somehow disqualified from the promises of God because of your past mistakes, your secret sins, or the times you have failed to be faithful. And this shame whispers that I am paving a path for you that is second best, a consolation prize for a broken child. I want to shatter that lie right now with the hammer of my love. Your past does not define your future, and my grace is not a limited resource that runs out when you stumble. I am a redeemer, which means I buy back what was lost and I restore what was broken, making it even more beautiful than before. So do not insult the power of the cross by believing your sin is greater than my mercy. Your path is still full of hope and a future. You often feel a disconnect between the magnitude of the dreams in your heart and the mundane reality of your daily life. And this gap creates a frustration that makes you feel like you are wasting your potential on small, insignificant tasks. You want to change the world to do great things, but I have you in a season of small things, of hidden service and quiet faithfulness, and you struggle to see the value in this obscurity. But listen closely. The cathedral is built stone by stone, and the character required to sustain a great destiny is forged in the fires of the mundane. I am testing you with a little so that I can trust you with much. So do not despise the day of small beginnings. The silence of the night brings out your deepest insecurities, the questions about whether you are truly hearing me, or if you are just making it all up in your head, a psychological projection of your own desires, and this doubt gnaws at the root of your faith. You want a burning bush, a thunderous voice, a handwriting on the wall, but I most often speak in a still, small whisper that requires you to lean in. And this struggle to trust your spiritual hearing is actually a training ground for intimacy. I am teaching you to recognize my voice not by its volume, but by its nature, peaceful, consistent, scriptural, and pure. And the more you wrestle with this, the more attuned your ear becomes to the frequency of heaven. You feel the pressure of financial instability or resource scarcity, and it makes it hard to focus on spiritual things when you are worried about bills and practical needs, creating a tension between your faith in my provision and the cold, hard facts of your ledger. This is a very real struggle, and I do not minimize the stress it causes, but I am inviting you to see this as an opportunity to witness Jehovah Jireh, your provider, in action, in a way you never could if your bank account was always full. I am paving a path of provision that may not look like a lump sum, but rather like daily manna, enough for today, arriving just in time, teaching you to rely on the source rather than the resource. Sometimes you feel a sense of betrayal by people you thought were sent by me to help you, and when they walk away or turn against you, it shakes your foundation and makes you question if you misread the signs entirely. You wonder why I allowed them into your life if they were only going to leave scars. But you must understand that some people are scaffolding, necessary for a season of building, but meant to be removed when the structure is self-supporting. Their departure is not a sign of my absence, but a sign of your progression. I am removing the props so that you can stand on your own 2 feet, supported only by me. And though the separation hurts, it is a necessary clearing of the stage for the next act. You struggle with the concept of surrender because you equate it with losing. with giving up your agency and becoming a puppet, and your strong will fights against the idea of letting go of the steering wheel. But true spiritual surrender is not weakness. It is the ultimate act of power, a conscious choice to align your limited strength with my limitless power. And until you stop fighting me for control, you will continue to feel the exhaustion of driving with the brakes on. I am not asking you to give up your personality or your drive. I am asking you to submit them to a higher wisdom so that they can be used effectively, rather than burning out in fruitless striving. The fear of suffering keeps you from fully committing to the path, because you know that the road of faith often involves trials, and your flesh naturally recoils from pain and seeks comfort at all costs. You look at the hardships of others and think, "I couldn't handle that," and this fear becomes a barrier that keeps you in the shallow end of the pool. But I promise you that I never dispense pain without purpose, and I never allow a trial without providing the grace to endure it. The grace you need for the future suffering is not here yet because the suffering is not here yet. So trust that when the moment comes, I will be there with the strength you need. You feel a recurring sense of unworthiness, a nagging thought that you are not spiritual enough, disciplined enough, or good enough to deserve the beautiful path I am whispering about. And so you self-sabotage, expecting the other shoe to drop. This is the voice of the accuser, trying to convince you that your inheritance depends on your performance. But I want you to know that the path I am paving is paved with grace, not merit. You cannot earn it, and you cannot disqualify yourself from it as long as your heart is turned toward me. Your worthiness was settled at the cross, so stop trying to relitigate a case that has already been won in your favor. Sometimes the sheer duration of the battle makes you want to give up, weariness setting in not from a single blow, but from the constant, grinding friction of resistance, making you feel like a soldier who has been in the trenches too long without relief. You are tired of being strong, tired of being the one who holds it together, and you just want to collapse and let someone else carry the load. I see this bone-deep exhaustion, and I am here to tell you that it is okay to rest. It is okay to lay down your sword for a moment and let me fight for you. The path I am paving includes rest stops, green pastures, and still waters, and you are allowed to drink from them without guilt. You struggle with the visibility of your path, wanting to be seen and acknowledged for your efforts. And when your hard work goes unnoticed, bitterness threatens to take root in your heart. You wonder if you are invisible, if your labor is in vain. But I am the God who sees in secret, and I am keeping a meticulous record of every seed you have sown. The path I am paving often leads through the valley of obscurity before it rises to the mountain of influence, because I need to know that you will serve me just as faithfully in the shadows as you will under the spotlight. The unpredictability of life makes you anxious, and you try to build fortresses of security around yourself. Savings, insurance, plans B through Z, to insulate yourself from the shocks of the world. While wisdom is good, placing your trust in these buffers is a trap, because true security is found only in me. I am shaking the things that can be shaken, so that the things that cannot be shaken may remain. And I am teaching you to build your house on the rock of my word, so that when the rains fall and the winds blow, you will not fall. Finally, you struggle with the feeling that you are alone in your specific calling, that no one else quite gets it. And this isolation makes you question if you are crazy or if you are truly a pioneer. You look around for a tribe and find only empty space. But I want you to know that I often isolate those I intend to elevate, separating them from the crowd so they do not pick up the bad habits of the herd. This loneliness is a consecration, a temporary exclusivity where I am mentoring you one-on-one, and soon I will bring you into a community of like-minded souls. But for now, let my presence be enough. My child, the revelation I want to pour into your spirit today is that I pave paths in stages specifically to protect you from premature exposure. Because if I placed you in your destiny before your character was ready to sustain it, the weight of the blessing would crush you. You see the delay as a denial, but I see it as a darkroom development process, where the image of my Son is being impressed upon your soul in the shadows, so that when you are brought into the light, the image will be permanent and clear. I am not withholding the good things from you. I am withholding you from the good things until you are mature enough to handle them without being destroyed by pride or pressure. You must understand that clarity often comes after obedience, not before it. You are waiting for the light to shine so you can move, but in my kingdom you move and then the light shines. This is the principle of faith, that the waters of the Jordan River did not part until the priests stepped their feet into the flow. And I am waiting for you to take that first terrifying step into the dark before I illuminate the ground beneath you. When you demand explanations before you offer obedience, you are operating in logic, not faith. And the path I am paving is a path of faith that requires you to trust the guide more than the map. Your path is custom-made because your assignment is specific, designed to solve a problem that only you can solve and to reach a people that only you can reach, which is why copying others will always lead to frustration. I have encoded your DNA, your experiences, your personality, and even your pain with a unique signature that unlocks specific doors in the spirit. And the path I am paving is the only route that leads to the full expression of that signature. Stop looking sideways at what I am doing for others and look up at what I am doing in you. For you are a masterpiece in the making, and masterpieces are not mass-produced on an assembly line. The obstacles you have faced were not accidents. They were carefully placed resistance training, designed to build the spiritual muscles you will need for the mountains ahead. Just as a weightlifter needs resistance to grow stronger, you needed those challenges to develop patience, resilience, grit, and compassion, qualities that cannot be downloaded but must be earned through struggle. I have been overseeing every trial, ensuring that the fire was hot enough to refine the gold, but not hot enough to consume it. And you are coming out of this season not just as a survivor, but as a warrior prepared for a higher level of victory. I want you to realize that what felt like a detour was actually a shortcut in the spirit, because while it may have taken longer in earthly time, it dealt with issues in your heart that, if left unchecked, would have caused a catastrophic failure 10 years down the road. I am interested in your eternal legacy, not just your temporary comfort, and I love you enough to slow you down to fix the foundation so that you do not have to rebuild the entire house later. You thought you were losing time, but I was saving you from losing yourself. And in the economy of heaven, that is a trade that is always worth making. The people who left your life were removed for your protection and your promotion, for they could not go where I am taking you, and their continued presence would have been an anchor dragging you back to a shore I have called you to leave. It was not rejection, it was redirection. It was my hand pruning the dead branches so that the new growth could flourish. And while the pruning shear hurts, the fruit that comes after is sweet and abundant. Bless them and release them, for they played their part in your story, but they are not characters in the chapter I am writing now. You have been asking, where is the path? But I want to reveal to you that I am the way, the truth, and the life. The path is not a physical road or a career trajectory. The path is a relationship with me. As long as you are abiding in me, talking to me and walking with me, you are on the path, regardless of your geographical location or your job title. This revelation shifts your focus from the external destination to the internal connection. And when you realize this, the anxiety fades because you know that as long as you have me, you can never be truly lost. I am using this time to purify your motives, stripping away the desire for fame, applause, and worldly success, until the only thing left burning in your heart is a pure desire to glorify me and to love people. This purification is painful because it burns up the ego, but it is necessary because power without purity is dangerous, and I intend to entrust you with power. The path I am paving is a highway of holiness, and only those with clean hands and a pure heart can ascend it. So let the refining fire do its work and do not pull away from the heat. The confusion you felt was simply the dust kicked up by the demolition of your old life. I had to tear down the structures you built in your own strength to make room for the kingdom I am building through you. Construction sites are messy, noisy, and chaotic, but they are temporary, and the confusion is not a sign of abandonment but a sign of renovation. The dust will settle, and when it does, you will see that I have built a palace where a shack once stood, a testimony to what my grace can do when you give me full control. I am revealing to you that your sensitivity is a superpower, not a weakness. Your ability to feel deeply is the very vessel I will use to pour out my compassion on a broken world. You have cursed your tears and your tender heart, wishing you were tougher. But I made you this way on purpose because the path I am paving requires a heart that can break for the things that break mine. Do not harden your heart to survive. Give it to me to protect, and I will use your empathy to heal the multitudes, turning your greatest pain into your greatest ministry. You are beginning to understand that the closed doors were actually protective walls that kept you from walking into traps, bad contracts, toxic relationships, and spiritual dead ends. I saw what was behind those doors, the heartache, the compromise, the sorrow, and I loved you too much to let you enter, even when you banged your fists against the wood. Thank me for the unanswered prayers, for they were my greatest mercies disguised as disappointments, saving you from a future you would have regretted. The path I am paving is one of incremental increase. I give you a little, and when you are faithful, I give you more, building your capacity slowly so that you do not burst. You want the ocean, but you are currently a cup. If I poured the ocean into you now, you would be overwhelmed and wasted, so I am expanding your capacity drop by drop, stretch by stretch. Trust this process of expansion, for I am widening your tent pegs and strengthening your cords in preparation for a harvest that will exceed anything you have asked or imagined. I am teaching you the secret of abiding rest, which is the ability to be internally calm while externally active, moving through the world with the unhurried rhythm of heaven. This is the secret to endurance on the path I am paving. You cannot run this race on adrenaline and caffeine. You must run it on the oil of the Spirit. When you learn to work from rest, not for rest, you will find that you can accomplish more in an hour of my grace than in a week of your own striving. The path is not a straight line, but a spiral. You may feel like you are circling the same mountains, dealing with the same issues, but you are actually moving higher with each pass, seeing the same things from a higher perspective and a deeper level of victory. Do not be discouraged by the feeling of repetition. You are not going in circles, you are ascending, and what defeated you on the last lap is under your feet on this one. You are conquering territory in your soul, reclaiming ground from the enemy, and establishing my kingdom in the high places of your life. Finally, the revelation is this: I am not just paving a path for you, I am paving a path through you. You are the bridge that others will walk across to find me. Your story, your struggle, and your ultimate victory are not just for you. They are a template of hope for those who will come after you, looking for a way out of their own wilderness. You are a pioneer, a trailblazer, and the brush you are clearing today will become a highway for thousands tomorrow. So walk with the dignity of one who is carrying a generation. So now, my beloved, I ask you to stop asking for the full blueprint and instead simply ask for the next faithful step, the one small act of obedience that is right in front of your nose. It might be to make that phone call, to write that page, to forgive that person, or simply to wash the dishes with a heart of praise. Whatever it is, do it with all your might. This is how the path unfolds, one stone at a time, one day at a time. And if you are faithful with the little, I will ensure that you arrive at the destination I have prepared. I challenge you to take one small step in the next 48 hours that aligns with the peace I have placed in your heart, an action that signifies you are trusting me to catch you. It doesn't have to be a giant leap. It just has to be a movement away from fear and toward faith, a physical declaration that you believe I am good and that I am leading you. Watch how the atmosphere shifts when you move. Watch how the waters part when your foot touches the stream. I am waiting for your motion to release my power. I also invite you to remove one source of noise or confusion from your life for just 1 week. Turn off the news. Mute the negative influences. Step away from the chaotic group chat and see how much clearer my voice becomes. Give me a clean frequency to broadcast on, and I will speak to you with a clarity that will startle you, giving you the specific instructions you have been begging for. You need quiet to hear the whisper, so create a sanctuary in your time and space where we can meet without interruption. Release the need to explain yourself to everyone. You do not need a jury to validate your journey when you have the judge of all the earth guiding your steps. Walk in the confidence of your calling, with your head held high, not in pride, but in the humble assurance that you are a child of the King on a royal mission. Your quiet confidence will speak louder than any defense you could mount, and eventually, the fruit of your life will be all the proof that is required. Remember that I am with you always, even to the end of the age. You are never walking this path alone, for I am the air you breathe, the ground beneath you, and the light above you. When you feel lonely, whisper my name. When you feel weak, lean into my strength. When you feel lost, consult my word. I am closer than your skin, more present than your heartbeat, and I am committed to getting you home safely. Do not let the fear of the future rob you of the joy of the present. There are blessings in this day, right here and right now, that I have placed for your enjoyment. Stop living in the not yet and start living in the now, tasting the sweetness of my grace in the simple moments. The sunrise, the laughter of a friend, the breath in your lungs. These are gifts from me to sustain you on the journey, and gratitude is the key that unlocks the fullness of their power. I am proud of you, not for what you do, but for who you are. I love you with an everlasting love that is not contingent on your success or your speed. You are my delight, my chosen one, and nothing can separate you from my love, not height nor depth, nor any created thing. Let this love be the fuel that drives you forward, the resting place where you recharge, and the armor that protects you from the arrows of the world. Trust that the story I am writing for you has a beautiful ending, a resolution that will make sense of all the plot twists and the cliffhangers you have endured. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the author and the finisher of your faith, and I do not leave stories unfinished or unresolved. Hold on to hope, for hope is the anchor of the soul, and know that your best days are not behind you, they are in front of you. waiting for you to walk into them. You are paving a way for others, showing them that it is possible to trust God in the dark, to walk by faith and not by sight, and your courage is contagious. Keep going, not just for yourself, but for the silent watchers who are drawing strength from your perseverance. You are a lighthouse in a stormy world, and your light is needed more than you know. Let peace be your umpire. If a decision disturbs your peace, step back. If it brings a deep, settling calm, step forward. I rule in the hearts of my people through peace, and it is the most reliable navigation tool you possess. Guard your peace with all diligence, for out of it flow the issues of life, and do not let anyone or anything trade their chaos for your calm. My child, stay close to me, for the path ahead is filled with wonder and glory, and I want to share every moment of it with you. Keep listening, keep trusting, and keep walking, for we are going to places you have only dreamed of, and I will never leave your side. If this message has touched your spirit and you want to continue receiving these whispers of hope and encouragement, I invite you to stay connected with this community by subscribing, not out of obligation, but as a way to keep your heart aligned with the truths that remind you of who you are and whose you are. Let us walk this path together, day by day, fortified by the promise that I am always paving the way just for you.